Hey, it's Jeremy from Jeremy.net. So recently, I had an email exchange with a fellow subscriber, and they know who they are, talking about finishing artwork. And that was the main challenge that they were having was, actually taking a piece all the way to completion. We had a really pleasant discussion, and I thought I might share some of the things that we talked about in the hopes that they might be helpful to the rest of you who are struggling with the same thing. Now, for me personally, the big thing that I think makes you capable of taking a piece all the way to completion is enjoying the work. Whenever you have to do something that takes a lot of effort and a lot of time, if you don't enjoy that effort, it becomes a slog and it becomes a chore. For me, I love the entire comic creating process. I enjoy the thumbnailing. I enjoy actually rendering finished pieces. I would say that the part I enjoy the least is probably the coloring and the gray toning. And when I say that I actually do enjoy those processes as well. But for me, they're the ones that are the most challenging and take the most time. And I don't know why that is. Why would you say that they take the most time? But honestly, the inking and the thumbnailing are what take the most time. But those pieces are probably the ones that are I'm the least giddy while I'm doing. But I still enjoy everything. I enjoy the writing, which is tedious for a lot of people. Everything about it, I enjoy making comics. And that's what keeps me at the drawing table for hours and hours at a time. Now, for somebody who doesn't necessarily enjoy every step of the process, maybe that's a good reason to collaborate with people. I mean, the main reason why I do all the things that I want is because I don't want to give up any portion of the creative process. I enjoy all of it. That doesn't mean I'm never going to collaborate with another creator. But I mean, if I hated writing, I'd be working with a writer. If I hated inking, then I'd probably focus just on doing pencils and see if I could find an inker to collaborate with. So if you're somebody who just enjoys certain aspects of the creative process, comics have been a creative medium for years, for decades. I mean, since it came into inception. So if you really, honestly, the people that create the entire comic themselves are more of the rarity. So if you don't like a certain phase of it, see if you can reach out and find other creators, find friends, go to your local comic shop, or maybe on message boards online, looking for other people that are interested in doing the same type of work that you do. Now, beyond that, in terms of productivity and actually sitting down and taking a piece to completion, it's tough. It is actually tough in terms of sticking with something that takes weeks, months, years. I mean, I've been working on Morningstar for several years now, and I do have one trade completed, but I've still got one issue that I'm getting ready to publish soon, and I've still got two more issues to finish drawing. So I have a sign that is tacked up, just written on an index card above my drawing board. And that sign says, "The hardest part is showing up." And I really believe that to be true. Once you get started working on any creative piece, it's that inertia from not working to working. In Steven Pressfield's book, which I've mentioned online, I think, I had recently been talking to some other people. I recently recommended it to the person I was having the discussion with. Steven Pressfield's book, The War of Art, he talks about what he calls resistance. And it's really that inertia, that whatever it is that keeps you from moving forward and starting and continuing. And we all have it. Even when I enjoy the process, it's hard for me to sit down and get started. But that's the reason why I've got that sign up. Because once I sit down, if I can force myself to say, all right, let me just work for 10 or 15 minutes. As soon as I get started, very shortly afterwards, I fall into a rhythm. Now, it doesn't mean that I'm warmed up and everything that I'm making is coming out fantastically. But I very quickly connect with that part of myself that has the desire to create. And that part of me that has a desire to create is enthusiastic about the work. And it stops becoming work. It simply becomes being, existing, engaging. I start enjoying myself. Even if I have a crappy page. I had written a blog post not too long ago where I said how much I loved comics. And I was going through a page where I was redrawing more than half of the page, going and doing a bunch of photo reference, shooting photo reference for the page so I could draw everything correctly. And it was a lot of work and it was a lot of tedious stuff, but I was loving it because it was making comics. It felt like part of the process that I love. So that's one of the biggest things that I can recommend to you is it's not about sitting down and saying, all right, I'm going to work for 5 hours or I'm going to work for 2 hours straight or however long and put in like a lot of hard work. Sit down and say, I'm just going to start. I mean, if you start and you work for, 20 minutes, a half hour, and you're not feeling it, then maybe you aren't in the right mind space to be working at that moment. But more often than not, I have found that just starting, getting going, those creative juices get flowing, and then it's agony if you have to stop. You're like, God, I want to keep going and going and going. Thanks for watching. If you enjoy these videos, please like and share them. Visit my resources page for free creativity tools and comic books at resources.jeremy.net. That's resources.gerimi.net. Also, visit my main website, jeremy.net, where you can buy my comic books, art prints, and more. There's also links to my Instagram, Twitter, and other social media accounts. That's it for now. Go be creative.